smart cities has been announced. So, and in Dubai and other places, smart cities means mobile government, one of the aspects. And last month, 3-4 months before, I was part of the Government Technology Summit in Dubai. What they were saying, happy government. So happiness, I as a ruler of the country, how I can bring the happiness? And that was the initiative, and that was the strategy. So happiness parameters has been already identified. And if those 4 or 5 parameters are met, that is a happy government. My citizens are happy. That means I as a ruler, I as a head of the state, I am happy. So again, so in that particular, smart cities, most of the event was discussing on the technologies which is related to the toilets. How we can improve the process of, So those are the problems, because same thing, smart cities and different places, the theme becomes different. We used to say that one action, same action at different places, one place you comply, another place you are conflicting with the law. So the law of the land and the legalities, the jurisdiction, all these are the important parameters when you are fighting against the digital terrorism, when you are fighting or when you are preparing yourself to empower with a clear understanding and with a holistic understanding, not only on the technological side, but also from the business side, from the regulatory side, and fetching all the data, where you organize, clean, relate, and try to map in a way that you can visualize and explore. Imagine, I was addressing at one of the university, vice chancellor, he don't know how many colleges, how many students are attending their classes right now for a specific subject. And that kind of thing, it is possible with a clear and segregated and segmented understanding in the digital arena, where you can decide and corporatize. Like now the data is available, now you can take the decision. And the data was there actually. With the corporate sector, the data was there. But the platform, the computational power was not there. Computational power was a big challenge. Regardless how powerful, how many mainframes you have in your data center to analyze and compute. Few months before, one of the CIO was discussing with me that we have designed a dashboard to capture and to fetch the data to make the decision. From the technological aspect, the designing aspect, everything was perfect, but it was not working. Because the data was being fetched from the raw tables. So you need to, when you are structuring or designing the data, regardless is a customer data or supply chain data or whatever, you need to understand and you need to relate, you need to map, you need to segment, and you should know what are the objectives, why you are doing all of this. And all of this, to do that, you require a computational force. 3 or 4 years before ISRO, they have launched a supercomputer with a lot of exaflops. You know that flops means where you measure, the processing power. And these cloud technology, it is providing a platform. Today, you can fetch the data from your business, from your line of business applications, from your sensor, from your climate, from your political data, all segment data, and you make a meaningful decision before you go to the market. So when you go to the, so many people, they say, come on, cloud is not possible for us because you know that security concern was there. So I used to say, again, going back to the service-oriented architecture principle, when you talk about the cloud, regardless of the flavor of cloud which you are talking about, whether it's a public cloud, private cloud, or a hybrid cloud, you have to go with an assessment. You do an assessment of your complete IT ecosystem, segment, segregate, identify what services are being delivered to what geographic location, what is the load, what is the throughput, what is the bandwidth, what is the storage, and then you do the standardization. What I have seen, 70 to 80% of the organizations and the initiatives, directly they will go to the virtualization. These are the 7 steps. So once you standardize, let's say you have an application which works on a SQL Server 2000, another application which works on the Oracle, another works on the SQL Server 2008, 2010, 2014. Now I think 16 also is about to launch. You need to find out what are those application servers which can be standardized, what are those web servers can be standardized, what are the databases can be standardized, and even from the links also, what are the links are there, what bandwidths or what backup links can be clubbed together. So then we talk about the consolidation. So we need to consolidate. So basically, before you come to the virtualization, by the way, this is the only slide I have for the cloud. So don't get. So before you go to the virtualization, these are the steps you need to do. Then your virtualization will be very optimal. Assuming that you have a physical server, or you got 100 physical servers, and today you virtualize into 10, 20 enclosures. Of course, you have done a good job. But the work what you have done, is it efficient? Is it effective? Does it carry the resilience which is expected from you as an IT educate? Or are you practicing the customer advocacy where the customer experience is an integral part of your efforts? And then once you virtualize, you try to automate and try to provide those self-service provisioning. And then you align and integrate. And once you do all of this, this is the time you are just ready to go to the cloud. This is not the cloud, steps. So there are so many slides, but I want to attract to you and I want to attach to you. So I will be skipping some of the slides. You can read. So customer, when we are designing an application, your customer should be the focus. When we as an IT pro, when we were designing, we were developing a system and adding that infrastructure and sending users for the training. Go and get the training. This is how the SAP or Oracle and so on works. But now the things has been flipped. You need to design a system based on the experience of the customer, which he has been doing for a lot of time. So encashing that experience and aligning and orchestrating in a way that you give the same experience when he works on a new system. So when we are talking about integration, from the IT perspective, it is the whole IT is all about the integration. Integrating heterogeneous pieces, integrating different systems, different protocols, different platforms, and to achieve the goals. So these are according to Gartner, in the US, by year 2015, every company will have 25% of the large organizations will have a new role called CDO, Chief Digital Officer. He will be the one who will be working in line with the CIO to achieve the strategic directions for your organization. And every large organization need to have the digital channel to serve their customers. So IT role is also emerging and it is transforming. When we talk about the IT transformation, I used to say from the other way around, there is a strategic transformation has to happen. From the organization perspective, every organization need to communicate with the clarity their strategic objectives. And then that need to be transformed to the mindset transformation. You are having, a sophisticated bike or a vehicle or equipment, but the way you are making is like, the same old type of vehicle. So that is not going to help you out. This is the one which I was talking about. The real world and the virtual world, they are merging. This I told in 2013. My lecture is there on the YouTube. Last year, Gartner came up and said the same thing which I told in 2013. So the two worlds are not only getting closer, but also they are merging. Whether you talk about the augmented reality, even those devices, once you have the Google Glass, I don't know why it is stopped, you can see the physical world information virtually, which can help you to give not only the geographic positioning, but also the details about those objects. We don't need to carry a guide when you are going to a new destination or trying to make a kind of transaction or anything as such. So when we are when we are delivering a service, it has to be on a platform, a trustworthy platform. A trustworthy platform, how you can develop? You are not only you are developing the place where you are hosting all of your services, that has to be trustworthy enough, but it has to follow certain best practices, principles, and you need to map, relate, and you need to adjust to your local priorities. I think it's already covered properly here. So you see the traditional business is being replaced with a digital business, and every business is a digital business these days. And this is what I just want to take a minute over here. So when we talk about the service-oriented architecture or a system architecture, we are talking about process architecture. We need to identify, we need to document, we need to draft processes which is relevant, and we need to have those controls across those processes, and you need to try to measure how that particular process is working. And then there is business architecture, there is technological architecture, there is application architecture, and there is a database architecture. So when you are developing a kind of a skill set, you need to see what segment you want to target. This is the framework which we have done for one of our customer, the public sector. And new emerging skill set we need to adopt. We need to empower ourselves. These are the names over here. So when I was talking about external and internal factors and influencers, when you are talking about the financial industry, you need to have a compliance with the GAP or the ISO, and you need to have those SLAs in place, and so on, the governance, risk management. So it's not just about having a good, effective management, but also iterating and reiterating and bouncing back with the governance. I would like to thank you for giving time and keeping patience. If I have time to take some questions, if somebody asks. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. So that was Ahmed sir for us. And now I would like to ask everyone that Google knows everything, right? Right, guys? Google knows everything. Any question that you have in your mind, you type it on Google, but you have your thoughts, and whatever you write on Google, you ask them, Ki Google, I want to know this, I want to know that, like information on this, information on that. But from Google, like your personal information can be shared with anyone, anytime.
Actually.
So, ये भी एक threat है life में. Google
And
से
I
कब-
think it's one of the biggest threats.
Right.
And as we are moving forward, I would like to request our next speaker, Mr. Vladimir Katalov, to come on stage. And he, talking about him, he's a CEO. He's a co-founder and co-owner of Elcomsoft Co. Limited. Born in 1969, he grew up in Moscow, studied applied mathematics at the Moscow Engineering Physics Institute, and now Mr. Vladimir manages all the technical researchers and product developments in the company. And he regularly runs security and computer forensic trainings, both for foreign and the Russian computer investigative committees and other law enforcement organizations. And we have Mr. Katalov with us. A big hand up for him, please.
Okay, hello everybody. I'm really happy to be here. What's going on now? Doesn't play. That way. I'm really happy to be here in India, lovely country, and best regards from cold Russia. Some of my local friends said that in that white shirt I look like I'm from the Indian government. For sure I'm not. I'm working in Moscow, Russia. Let me briefly introduce myself. I'm a CEO and co-founder of the Elcomsoft company based in Moscow, Russia. We have a head office there. We have been founded over 20 years ago and privately held and working purely on the security market. We have 100% in-house development, and we are certified with Microsoft, Intel, and some other companies, and we're developing the software for computer forensics and data security, and have over 300 partners